What's up, guys? Uncle Luke is in the house. Luke's Points and Miles. Happy Thursday to everyone. Can everyone hear me loud and clear? Somebody comment and make sure that we can hear me, and I'm not just sitting here talking to myself. I do see someone suggest, Cesar Joel suggest I run for president. I can tell you that's not going to happen, but yeah, I can't even speculate on that. I would not want that job. Um, Man, that's a tough job. I really wish we had some decent candidates for that job. And I don't want to get too political, so I'll go ahead and end there. We got Gibran Espinoza. What's up, man? Long Way Travels, my man. John, very good friend of the channel. Cesar Joel, my Puerto Rican brother. Boricua forever. We got Lance Jones. Oh, we got some good dudes in here tonight. All right. Ivan says it's his first time catching us live. Well, welcome, Ivan. I hope you have some fun. We got Bobby Yakuzo in the house, longtime friend of the channel. We've got 25 people in here right off the bat. That's a really good sign. Retired 2019. Are you really retired, you lucky duck? Right reactions, Domino Masters. He says, "Hey Luke, when's the Zurich trip? Hoping you get a big suite." We're going to be in Zurich at the beginning of June. So how that kind of trip goes is we're going to be going from Toronto to Amsterdam. We're going to spend a couple of days in Amsterdam. Then we're flying to Malta for 5 nights at the Hilton Malta. From there, we're flying to Zurich, 2 nights. It's going to be so great. We use the guest of honor at the Park Hyatt Zurich. And from there, we're going to do kind of a treat. We're taking one of those European trains, first-class trains from Zurich all the way across Switzerland to Geneva. We're going to spend the night in Geneva, and then we're flying home on Swiss Air in business class. So that's a big, big trip, probably my most ambitious family trip so far. I'm really excited about that, and that's going to be our summer vacation, our big trip. So long way to answer that question. JS is in the house. Hans Metellus, first live. Looking forward to it. Thank you for joining us, Hans. Love that name. Jason P. from San Antonio. JS says he likes these glasses. I like these clear glasses. I just started wearing glasses when I turned 40 because I couldn't see at night and I couldn't see small things. And just recently, I kind of got addicted to buying glasses. So I bought like a whole bunch of different glasses. But yeah, I like these. These are like old man glasses that make me look kind of hip, kind of stylish. Not really. Ivan says he thinks the Altitude Go by U.S. Bank is a really good earner if you're good with cash back. Yeah, four times on dining. Absolutely, man. No annual fee. I think it's got a couple other perks. I'm a big fan of the U.S. Bank cashback cards if you want to go that way. I do have a U.S. Bank Cashback Plus, and it's great. I'm not using it currently, but it is a big part of my cashback setup. I think it's a great card. And I have the U.S. Bank, the business card, Triple Cash. I haven't used that in a while either. Cesar says to get that Rolex. Man, listen, we're going to do a wrist check. Let me see if I can get it better. I'm kind of not flexible anymore. We've got the Omega. Man, I'm not flexible at all, guys. Omega Seamaster Professional 300. It's like the polar James Bond watch, and I love it. It's very cool. It's if you don't know watches, you don't care, but if you do know watches, it's pretty cool. So Hans, I pronounce his name correct, man. I'm big league, man. I can pronounce some great names. I probably Gibran right below you. I probably mispronounced his name though. But he's been inspired to leverage his points and miles, save nearly 20 G's for flights and hotels. Good job, Mr. Espinoza. We love to hear that around here. Anytime you guys take something from one of my videos and you use it to enrich your lives, I want to hear about it. That is like gold to me. That's very, very good currency. Crespo says he wished he had the guest of honor for his Maldives trip. Man, you're going to Maldives. Let's not be too greedy. You're going on. Admittedly, I'm not interested in going, but that is definitely a big league trip, and I hope you have a lot of fun. Wong Wei said he did a train ride from Zurich to Lucerne. Amazing scenery. Yeah, I can't wait, man. That's really something my wife really wanted to do, so that should be fun. Yeah, John says that's some strong savings for that 20 G's. It is, man. Amal Singh, first live show as well. But we got so many first timers in here. Guys, welcome to the community, to the channel. We have what I think is a very, very special community in that we don't have any trolls. We don't have any guys really bad mouthing anyone. We don't have any guys with stupid, sarcastic remarks. We have almost all good, legitimate dudes and gals who are interested in learning and sharing. So welcome to the community. Got Lance Jones in the house. Lance says, is Amex Blue Cash Preferred plus the Saver One a competitive replacement for the gold? Yeah, I think so. Especially if you're in a cash back. I think the Blue Cash Preferred is underrated for the straight bottom line cash back people. Saver One, really good. Cesar Joel says the Omega Seamaster is big time. I agree, man. My first adult watch, and I really like the white. I like the black and white. Let me see here. Hans' wife just started the travel credit card journey. That's awesome. They have a 10-year anniversary coming up. Man, make it right, Hans. Make it big time. I have faith in you. Vincent Pascal says, what effect do you think closing Amex cards would have on landing you in pop-up jail or approvals for future Amex cards? That's a good question. And I do think that canceling the cards is a part of the overall picture, and all of our overall pictures look different. You understand? But I do think if you open Amex cards, get the bonus and close them, if you do that more than a couple times, depending on how much spend you are generating on the other Amex card you have, I think that'll absolutely land you in pop-up jail. Amex has a fast algorithm to determine who is profitable and who's not one of their customers. And I think they put a lot of people in pop-up jail, but I also think it's fair because if you spend a lot of dough with their charge cards or their other cards, you're not going to get in pop-up jail unless you have something else going on. Ivan says he wanted to say that I found your channel from Reddit saying that you got Chase inks while above 524 and you appeared to know how to count. Yeah, we talked about this on a video or live one time. I took a lot of criticism for saying I got him over 524. And I can understand a lot of people are saying, well, most folks don't know how to count 524. And I agree with that. I don't think most folks know that business cards don't count. And I don't think they go by actual the timing through their credit reports. But since that Reddit post, you've seen a lot of people that have at least claimed they've gotten Chase cards over 524, and they're not all wrong. So you can get Chase cards over 524. Let me see here. Oh, Keith S. We have some trolls on here? I didn't see it. I didn't see any trolling posts, or did I miss it, or did I delete it, or what? Okay. We'll find it if it happens again. And Keith, I'll add you as a mod if we get some more trolls. Pad, he lives near an American Airlines hub. He wants to know my thoughts on a Hyatt American Airlines focused strategy with a Bilt card plus an American Airlines City card. I did a video a long time ago on a focused strategy like that, and it included American Airlines card and a Hyatt card. And they do have a partnership, so there are some synergistic effects there. And if you're okay with that very simplistic earnings, very laser focused earnings, I think it's okay. But you guys will know that I think the best Hyatt card is the Chase Ink Cash card. And I'm actually going to make a video probably explaining that for 10 minutes because I don't think people really get what I'm saying when I say that. Robert says the live stream with Stan the Credit Frog was bigger than big time. Hey, I love Stan. Stan is a big time dude. Stan is one of those guys where once you kind of learn his personality, um, you can learn so much from him because he really is less emotional and a less more analytical than me. And I think we complement each other because of that. It's also a cool dude to hang out with. Where are we at here? Phil Moe is in the house. It says good evening to all you noblemen and magistrates. Jeff says, thank you so much for the help on here. Any chance you could speak further on funding a new? Everyone wants to know how you fund a new bank account with a credit card. This is as simple as it gets, guys. U.S. Bank, business checking. You put a certain amount of dollars in there for 90 days to give you a $500 bonus, something like that. When you create the free checking account, it will ask you to fund that account. One of the options to fund a U.S. Bank checking account is with a credit card. Chase credit cards will not normally code as a cash advance. It will be a regular purchase. And you can even fund it with a credit card and pay it off right away. I did it with the Hyatt, World of Hyatt business card. That's how I met my minimum spend for the bonus. It's not rocket science. It's not a hack or a trick. You can fund something. And if you Google which bank accounts are credit card funded, I think RJ, his Run on the Bank, should have a list of all the bank accounts that you can fund with a credit card. There's a lot of them. Some of them you can't. Here we go. Lance Jones, he liked the Luke and Stan collab. That was fun. I think we're going to do that again, guys. I think we kind of complement each other enough to maybe do that as maybe a regular thing. Uh-oh. Mr. Espinoza got 7.5 cents per point on the Air France miles. He transferred from the Platinum. He got 10 nights at various Hiltons. Man, Espinoza is killing it. Good job. Cesar got denied at 10.24. Chase does not like Cesar. This one, Vigian. I'm sorry, that one's tough for me. I'm an Appalachian, but Vigian says, do authorized user cards count towards 524? They don't, but my wife has like 25 authorized user cards. So every time she applies for a Chase card, she's denied, and she has to call and say, hey, these cards are authorized user cards. I'm not responsible for paying them off. And then she gets approved. So they don't count, but they might make a pain in your butt getting approved. Juan Garcia. Love that name. Hey, Luke, just got approved for Amex Business Platinum, 120,000. Bit of a stretch for him. I'm going to give congratulations, Juan. I do have a couple videos on how to meet minimum spend. Oh, John just hit us with a 5 spot. John, we appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat, the super thanks, whatever they're calling these days. You are a friend of the channel, and I appreciate your gift. Thank you, sir. Okay, Right Reaction says he was just approved for a 6th and 7th Amex lending card. Wow, I like that. I am interested in that because I have, how many do I have? I have 4. Maybe I have 5. And I wanted to see if I can get a 6, but I'm not quite ready to apply yet. I do have 5, so I wanted to see if I can have 6. John Feeney, what do I make of the new baggage fees with American Airlines? Is there a dollar point when you would get an airline card for free bags? Well, kind of. If you have status, you won't pay for those bags. But I also have the City Business AA card that gives me free bags domestically. So I haven't really done the math on that, mostly because I don't check bags very often, especially for domestic flights. But yeah, I think if you are traveling on American Airlines, there will come and this is the same kind of trend we're seeing everywhere. Everyone wants you to get their cards. They want you to use their cards. Crespo, Mr. Crespo says, from my knowledge, using an EIN is not affected by your 524. So I think he's saying if you use a new EIN, you are much more likely to not be affected by 524. That could be true. I do have a couple different EINs, and I've used both of those for Chase approvals. Hemu says, can you fund a brokerage account with a credit card? I don't know. I've never tried that. Dave in Boston, baby. First live stream. Another first timer. Welcome, Dave. Appreciate all the advice. Interested in best ways to balance personal and business credit cards for self-employed people. If you're looking for balance, you should not ask me. I don't have a lot of balance in my life. But if you are running a small business, here, I'll go ahead and tell you, I run 2 small businesses and I spend on all my cards. Now, I say that because my small business spending is not hard to keep track of. If you do spend a lot of different transactions for a small business, I would suggest getting a simple rewards card or a simple 2% cashback card and just making that your dedicated business card. You're going to sacrifice some reward, but during tax time, you're going to thank yourself, and you're still getting rewarded. So I would have a dedicated, for each small business, a dedicated card, and I should do that, but I don't. Is the Hilton Aspire better than the Marriott Brilliant in every way? I tend to prefer Marriott's overall, but Hampton Inns are pretty dependable for lower tier. Well, I think the Hilton Aspire is a better card. And I only say this because I do love Marriott properties, but in my experience, I have not been able to get really good value from Marriott points on their higher end cards. Lower stuff, Fairfield Inn and Suites, Marriott Courtyards, I've gotten really good value from their points. But I just chose, honestly, I chose Hilton because of the footprint, and I got a lot of value from the cards. Guys, we have 100 people in the chat. Slap that like button if you are enjoying yourself, especially if you're one of the new guys. Call Me Lonnie is in the house. He says, hey, everyone, if you have not seen Call Me Lonnie's YouTube channel, it is a must-see. Check it out. Big league editing. He's a Chase guy and a United guy, and he does things in a different way. So if you are interested in how really smart people handle their business, go check out Call Me Lonnie for sure. Vincent Pascal says, nice job with the collab with Stan. You'll have to do one with RJ. Talk about which watches, but I really like RJ. RJ is he's a lot different from me as well. He's a much more subdued, really smart guy, and I like that he's unashamed of being a cashback guy. We did get him out of the house too. We got him to Vegas. That's a huge accomplishment for our credit card community to get RJ out of Michigan. It's Michigan. Juan Garcia says, with the increased baggage fees with American Airlines, does this make the Bilt card even more valuable? I'm not sure how. What does the Bilt card do for baggage fees? Does the Bilt card give you free check bags? Not sure. If you are checking bags with American Airlines, then a $99 airline credit card will probably pay dividends for you. Ricky's Travel Hacking says, which one is more likely to happen sooner, the Hawaiian Alaskan merger or the Discover Capital One? That's really, it's really above my comprehension level when it comes to corporations and corporate businesses. I can't really give you an opinion on that. Your green thumb is in the house. Yeah, like Keith S. says, 100 people in here. Slap that like button. Appreciate it. Terry Tatum says his big fan, earned almost 1 million points and miles in the last year using a lot of our stuff we share on the channel. Thanks for everything, Uncle Luke. Terry, thank you for 1 million miles. Good job, man. And guys, I'd love to hear, whenever you're commenting or anything, I'd love to hear how you're using those miles, because I really like to. That's interesting stuff to me. Any recommendations for an aspirational trip to redeem 5 of the 5 free 50K? Noah Snipe, I have not researched prices on Marriott hotels, so I can't give you a great answer. Glenn Ardonia says, what's up, players? Glenn, if you didn't know, is my Filipino head of security. Anytime I do international travel, I try to take Glenn Ardonia with me because trust me, sometimes you need a super tough Filipino with you. Dwayne Perkins is in the house. David Williams, should I get built before I get cards I will cancel like Amex Gold? No, I think if you're never going to cancel, get it sooner so your credit kind of grows and ages with you. Matt Clausen's halfway through his JetBlue business welcome offer. Oh, this $2,100 credit limit. That's tough, man. I did have U.S. Bank give me a $750 credit limit on a business card. The leverage where you had to spend $7,500. Had a really long conversation with them. Kevin says he's waiting for the Wells Fargo new cards. Yeah, those are going to be interesting. I think. I think if you're being reasonable and open-minded, those have a shot at maybe not disrupting the game, but they're going to be really interesting. Hans says he's going to be using his points for Isla Mujeres in Mexico. I really want to go there. I love that area. For his 10-year anniversary, your wife's going to love that, dude. Good job. Speaking of that kind of area, my next trip is Grand Cayman, and I'm super excited about that. If you guys have not seen my redemption, max value redemptions series, I do a video on the Seafire Resort and Spa on Grand Cayman and how you can use IHG points to get insane value. Check that out. Too easy. Do you think I should stop applying for credit card at the moment since we're planning to apply for a mortgage in a couple months? I think the general answer is yes. I think the smart, normal answer is maybe you stop applying for a year. I would clean up those inquiries, and that's what the normal answer is going to be. Now, obviously, I live a little different. I have gotten refis, HELOCs, and everything with 20 inquiries and tons of new accounts. So I think it depends on how fat and how thick your credit profile is. Gotcha. But I think it's a good idea to lay off the credit card or any credit applications if you want to get a mortgage. And I think I would even do that for a year, but that's just. But I don't have a problem getting a mortgage. I have 2 of them right now. Well, 3 counting a HELOC. So. Stephen Bishop says thoughts on the upcoming Wells Fargo autograph journey. Like I said, man, I think it's really interesting. Am I going to go down that route? Not likely. I have a lot on my plate as far as credit cards, and I don't plan on getting new ones this year. I say that. I probably will, but I don't plan on. But we don't know how exciting it is yet, how good of a card it is just yet. Kevin says they're releasing in March. That's the rumor. March we'll find out more. Espinoza says he just found a Marriott in Malta for 5 nights in May for $50K a night. That's big time, dude. I don't know anything about that property, but Malta's pretty small. It's probably a really good time. And here's the thing about Malta. You meet a lot of people who have never even heard of it, but it's a super cool place. So I went there in the Navy. I think it was 1998, which probably a long time ago for some of you guys, but I went there in 1998 and I can't wait until June when I can go back. It's going to be so fun to take my boy there. All right, let's check out the community post for a couple of these questions. And there's some good ones. Lawrence McKnight. What is your definition, personal opinion of travel a lot? Is it once a week, twice a month, 6 times a year? The imaginary line, threshold, and or formula that will benefit from a platinum, reserve, or venture X. Now, he's asking, I usually say if you have to travel a lot, you don't have to travel a lot, but having premium travel cards are really for people who travel a lot. Now, how much is a lot? Obviously, that's going to be different for everyone. But I think if you're traveling more than 6 times a year, to me, that's a lot. I don't know a lot of normal people that are going on a trip every other month. I travel 10 times a year, give or take. a lot of those are little weekend getaways and things like that. But I think 10 times is a lot. But we also have guys that are, if I was a single guy and had basically the same income as I do now, 10 would be nothing. If I was single and I didn't have a family, 20 would be probably where I'm at. But family guys, and obviously it's going to be less for family people. But I think 6 trips a year, 5 trips a year, you might get plenty of value. Zobro Productions says, what's your workout regiment look like? I don't have a regiment right now. I'm kind of old and trying to get through workouts. But if I had to tell somebody how I gained strength, I'm going to tell you that you should look into Jim Wendler 531 program. You can just Google Wendler 5/3/1. It's boring, but there's so much big time science behind it, and it was so good for me. I lifted weights for years and years and years, and as soon as I started doing like a 531 powerlifting type program, I started gaining muscle like a bodybuilder. Doing bodybuilding workouts didn't do that for me. I put on a ton of weight by doing heavy powerlifting moves. Let's go back here to Keith S. just hit us with a 10 spot. Thank you, sir. He asked, will there be an Amex refresh in 2024? He needs to decide if I'm going to keep my card or not. They just gave him a $200 retention offer for a $3K spend. He had already broken up with the card in his mind. Don't ever break up until you break up, man. Do I think it's going to be a refresh? First off, thank you for the 10 spot. Really do appreciate it. I think it's probably due for a refresh in 2024. And I think we all know what this looks like. It looks like a $325, $350 annual fee with maybe another $100 in credits that you can or can't use. I think Amex has been really clear. People are kind of angry at them, but I think they've been very straightforward. That, hey, this is what we're going to do. If you are good with it, we're going to reward you. If you're not good with it, we don't care. So, and I think a lot of American Express, their core customers, they're barely using those credits. They're barely using them. And we'll talk about that later. Matt Clausen says the Wells cards will depend on their transfer partners. Here's what I'll give them a little bit more credit than that. I don't think their transfer partner list will matter. They're going to have some of the main players on there, but I don't think it matters what the list is. What is going to matter is what will the transfer ratio be. If it's 1-to-1, it's big time. They're not going to have if they have built transfer partners, then it's the best thing ever. If they have half of those, it's still just fine. There's like 5 transfer partners that everybody uses. And as long as you have 3 or 4 of those, it's worth it. You want British Airways, you want Virgin, you want Air France, you want Air Canada, and you want a hotel program you can live with, because not everybody's getting Hyatt. Citizen Zero asks, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Amex Platinum additional cardholders price increase? I'm not familiar with what you're talking about. Do you mean the current price increase to $195 each? It doesn't affect me a whole lot. My mustache is kind of weird. It went from 175 for as many as I wanted to 195 each, so I only have one authorized user card now. So I've made my peace with the Platinum card, and actually I will have a really interesting and a really different video Monday about the Platinum card. I know there's tons of videos on the Platinum card. This one's a little different. This one's personal, and I think it's probably my best video ever. Best video yet. What would be the Panadero? I'm sorry. What would be a max setup for Hyatt points? It seems like it would be a Chase Sapphire and Ink duo. Give me the Chase Sapphire Reserve and the Chase Ink Cash. And if we're getting big league, give me 2 Chase Ink Cash. Tommy says, was there a wait for the Capital One Lounge in DFW? No wait. Experience. It's my favorite domestic lounge in the entire country. It's the food is better than any place I've been. Um, the fact that they have a grab and go section. So if you've got a 2 hour layover, you can eat, you can hang out, and then when you leave again, you can grab some more stuff. It's Capital One Lounge is big league. It's my favorite lounge. Citizen Zero asked if he pays the annual fee on his platinum, then decides to cancel a month later. Do you get a prorated? I'm pretty sure you do. If you do cancel, they will give you that prorated refund. I would probably look more into it, but I think they do. I'm pretty sure they do. DJ October is in the house. He's a little late. It's all good, man. Lamb says, "Can I do a retention offer guide?" I can, but how about when your annual fee hits, you just call the credit card issuer and say, "Hey, really hoping you have some type of retention offer because money's tight right now, man, and I'm thinking about canceling this thing." But yeah, I'll try to put something together because there are a lot of different issuers that do things a little different. John Feeney says, if you eat and eat out, Amex Gold is solid. Also, if you like Hilton, it's worth it. A lot of people won't agree with you, but I do. I think transferring MR points to Hilton is better if there's a bonus, but I think it makes sense sometimes. For everyone asking about banks with credit card funding, Doctor of Credit has a great dynamic article with lots of data points. So go check out Doctor of Credit. They probably have tons of lists of, for sure, banks that you can credit card fund with. Oh, the Joker speaks. Amex Gold versus Hilton Surpass. I believe a $50 credit every 3 months at the place the card is meant for is so much easier. Man, you have a great argument. You have a really, really good argument. I'm a big fan of the Hilton Surpass, and I think it got way better with the changes. Like you said, it's a $150 card. They give you $200 towards your Hilton stays, and everybody can earn tons of Hilton points with the Hilton Surpass. Dining, groceries, gas. Yeah, it's big time. I agree, Joker, for sure. Oh, Dong Kim with the coolest name in the game just ended his work on the West Coast. Well, Dong, I hope you have a adult beverage and get some relaxation tonight, man. Ricky's Travel Hacking Credit Card BS just put out a podcast about retention offers. Yeah, with that said, I agree. Just call them up. Hang up and call again once or twice. I've done it. I've tried 3 times. Jason P says, have you considered jumping through the hoops to get the MS Amex Platinum card to get that free authorized user? I have considered it, and I think when they eliminated one of the accounts you could have, they eliminated it, and now it's much, much more difficult. And I think you actually have to more than like tokenly invest with them. So I think it's harder to get that card now. And like I talked to Stan about that, and I'm not interested in moving tons of assets to Morgan Stanley just for that. No, I'm not going to do that. Dugras, my main man, my twin brother. He says, you stated that part of the reason you kept the Amex Platinum is because of lounge access at your home airport. If you didn't have that lounge at your home airport, would you still keep it? That is a super tough question because it is such a big deal. I'm going to say, watch my video Monday about the Platinum card, and that could possibly answer that question for you. I hate to do that, but I really do want to promote it because it is my favorite video I've ever made. But I don't know, man, because Columbus, Ohio is not like a small town. You would think eventually they'll get some kind of lounge if they didn't have the escape lounge. And even with the escape lounge, there's got to be another one coming. It has to be. And if there was another one, maybe I wouldn't have to have the Platinum. Performance Roofing, Stephen Smith. Love your YouTube channel. Quick question on Marriott. I have a business and a personal American Express Marriott card. Can I get a Chase Marriott? I've heard Marriott will not honor the bonus. Now, you're going to have to do more research on this than what I'm going to tell you, but there's a time frame in which you're not eligible for another bonus. And somebody in the comments knows. I thought it was 24 months, but I could be wrong. It could be more than that. But you can get the bonuses on Amex or Marriott, and I think you can get the bonuses on the other issuer, but there's a time frame that you have to wait. So I would do a quick Google search, or you should be able to find that out if you can frame the question online. I'm pretty sure you can, but a lot of people don't because it is such a long wait. It might be 48 months, but I thought it was 24 months. Young boy, been thinking about the boundless card with the 5 free nights, but confused if my elite nights will stack because I have the Amex Marriott Biz already. That's a good question. Yeah, I think they do. I think the elite nights stack across cards, but you're going to want to make sure you're eligible for the bonus with the Chase card since you already have an Amex version. You want to make sure that that time has kind of elapsed. And I'm really not sure if you would call Chase to find that out. Do another Google search, and you guys can find out. Put them in the comments because I'm interested now. Hopefully with a new terminal. Okay, so Ricky's Travel Hacking flies out of Columbus as well. Because hopefully with a new terminal in a few years, we get a Priority Pass lounge. But that feels so far away. Yeah, you're right, man. If we had a Priority Pass lounge that was decent, and it doesn't have to be nice at all. Really just needs to have something to eat and coffee. And it wasn't super crowded, I could use that for everything. I'm not super picky when it comes to lounges. I just want one. Stan or Stu, I don't know who Stu is. That Stan? Stu has a great video on the order to get the Bonvoy course. Stan does. Stan the Credit Frog does. And yeah, that's if you're going to get a lot of Marriott cards. Okay, Jay from the base says it's 24 months. So you can get one from an issuer and wait 24 months to be eligible for the bonus on the other issuer, which is not too bad in the long run, I don't think. Yeah, Stan has a Marriott card strategy guide on a video. It's super good, especially if you're into Marriott cards, which I'm obviously not. Let me see here. Let's go back to the community post. Ari says he's following my lead and going to Panama, staying at the Waldorf Astoria for 5 nights. He had a few Hilton points and bought the rest at half a cent per point. And he got almost 1 cent per point instant profit. And the reason why that is significant is the points value in Panama wasn't great. I paid cash for my room because it was so low. But when you use that 5th night free, he got almost 1 cent per point at a Waldorf in a really, really cool location. Waldorf in Panama City, in Panama. Big time, man. Good job. Good job, Ari. I like your style. Let me get one more here from the community post. Josh says, when is your first intercontinental stay happening? If you remember, in December, I purchased ambassador status for the Intercontinentals. Says he was at the San Francisco location, got a small upgrade, beautiful view. Got 1 free breakfast after the hotel water went out. Oh, wow. Josh, I don't have any Intercontinental stays booked. And I bought that status and booked a stay in Panama and changed it. So unless I book a stay in before December, I'm going to just waste the $200. Hope I don't do that. Sorry, guys. I'm having some trouble with here we go. Having some weird trouble with my timeline here. We got Jacob's Points and Profit in the house. If you have not checked out his channel, he has 2 of them. Travels all over the place with his wife, and he has another channel with the credit card game. Big time creator. Go check that out for sure. John says the new terminal in Kansas City got a Sky Club. I really like the Sky Clubs. Platinum card is his way in, and he flies a lot of Delta. Yeah. When I was flying Delta, that Platinum card was worth its weight in gold, or worth its weight in platinum, I guess. Haven't flown Delta in a long time. Just one time in the last year or so. Chomby says, I have American Airlines Mile Up card from Citi. I want a product change to a double cash or other Citi cards. Advise, you're the best. Chomby, call them. They will. The cool thing about Citi is on the personal side of things, they will product, or at least in the past, they have product change across different families of cards. So you can definitely change your American Airlines card to a Citi Custom Cash or a double cash for sure. From what I have done it. So if they're still doing it, you're good. Ricky's Travel Hacking says, slap that like button, guys. We had 130 people in the house. I appreciate all of you. Let's go back to Filmo with a community page. I won a Hyatt Guest of Honor from JP Knowledge's group. If you had globalist status for one stay, where are you going? Well, how about this? I had a member of the community gift me Hyatt Guest of Honor, and I am going to use it at the Park Hyatt in Zurich, Switzerland. Really, really excited about that because my wife actually transferred me the Chase points to book the Hyatt, and it was a really expensive stay. Everything seems to be expensive in Switzerland, but to go there for a couple of days with the Guest of Honor, really excited about that, and I really can't wait to report that back to you guys. Romanico, hey Luke and everybody, for 2 weeks stay, World of Hyatt, for 2 weeks Hyatt stay, World of Hyatt or Chase Inc. preferred. I already have Chase Inc. cash, and I don't understand what the question is. For 2 weeks Hyatt stay. I'm not a fan of the World of Hyatt card, and I may do a video just on that. I think anybody who recommends it is falling for the marketing and the kind of Hyatt hype. Let me explain real quick. Everybody's going to tell you the exact same thing. Well, I have the World of Hyatt card because it's a no-brainer. It gives me a free night. Well, it costs you $95. So let's go back to that free night. It's a category 1 to 4. So it might not be a place you're going to stay anyway. So what's a category 1 to 4? Let's average it out. Is it 10,000 points? It could be 15. It could be 5. Let's just say it's 10,000 points. How long does it take you to get 10,000 points on a Chase Inc. cash? Well, you get 75,000 or 90,000 when you first get it, and there's no annual fee, and you can use it for anything you want. So, not a fan of the World of Hyatt card as it is now. If they change it, it could be really great. But I got news for you. There's no reason for Hyatt to change it because all these dudes slobber all over it anyway. Charles, hello, Daddy Luke. Guys, that reminds me, if you have a question for Carlos, leave it in the comments. Questions for Carlos. Come here, buddy. Be careful. Carlos is all ready for bed. Say hi. I don't have any questions for Carlos just yet. Do you want to say something to group? I'll give you a question for Carlos. Where are you most excited to go this year? Cancun.
Where are we going again? I forgot what it's called.
We're going to Amsterdam, Malta, Switzerland,
Malta.
Grand Cayman.
Malta.
Who?
Malta.
Malta. So tell them.
Malta.
He wants to go to Malta, so he's excited. Phil Mo says, hey, Carlos. Hola, Carlos. Can you speak Spanish? Nothing?
One or two things.
Well, say it. Let's hear it.
No.
All right. Dino wants to know when we're going to Hong Kong. All right. Say thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Say good night.
Good night. Bye.
That was your bi-monthly episode of Questions for... Hey, shut that door, buddy. Questions for Carlos. His favorite. Oh, was the video frozen? No. All right. Usually somebody hits me up on Instagram to tell me it's frozen. Nope. Okay. Ricky says it's fine. It's just Dugras with his with his value internet connection. his Iowa Iowa Cornfield Connection. All right, let's see the. We're going to go back to the community page. NB32 asks, is there a specific order to get the Amex business cards in order to maximize the sign-up bonus? Example, if the business platinum first, then not eligible for the gold. As far as I know, they have not applied the family sign-up bonus language to the business cards yet. But here's my thought on it. If you're worried about them doing that, then I would get the gold and then get the platinum before they do it. I don't think you're exactly too worried about it, because if you did think they were going to apply that language to those cards, the 150,000 point business gold card offer has been floating around out there for months. And if you didn't want it, if you didn't get it then, you probably don't want it. Roman Echo says, does it make sense? Okay. Does it make sense to get the World of Hyatt with 30 to 35,000 points and extra benefits, or CIP with 100,000 points? I'm going with the Chase Ink Preferred, because those extra benefits you talk about, I don't think are worth that much. I don't want to make this a Hyatt thing, because I do stay at Hyatt's and I like Hyatt. But to me, the entire internet thinks you have to have Globalist to be a Hyatt person. And most of the people that say that, they don't have Globalist. I think Hyatt is a property or a program that is best for non-status people, meaning you're there for the value. If you want to upgrade your room, you spend some more Chase points. I don't think I'll ever have meaningful Hyatt status. I have Discoverist right now, and I've had Explorist, and I've never gotten anything for that. Not a bottle of water, maybe. I do appreciate the water. Carlos, he's gone, but Carlos does not play soccer. Carlos he's got 3 years of baseball, a year of flag football, and he just finished up his first season of basketball. I'm pushing for the basketball. No real reason, but it's more fun to watch. Kent T says, hi, Luke. How many business credit cards from Chase can you get? Is there a limit? I don't think there's a limit to how many cards Chase will issue you, but there is a limit to the amount of credit they'll issue you. And a lot of people say the same data points. Chase will extend you as much credit as about half of your yearly income. That's just what I've always heard and read. I've not tested that. I don't even know how much credit they've extended me right now. But from everything I've heard, there is no limit on cards. There's just a limit on the amount of credit, which is why some people will lower their Chase limits so they can be eligible for more cards. Espinosa says, I don't think they'll do family language on business cards. And I don't disagree with you at all. I think the business cards are treated way differently. And I think a lot of people are blasting serious spend on those business cards. And it's just not as big of a gaming issue as the personal or consumer cards. Oh, is that Girish Tawali? For domestic travel, which is the best loyalty to transfer Venture X miles? With Venture X, you're going to have an option of just purchasing them and then using the miles to erase that purchase at 1 cent per point. If you're flying American, you can use British Airways, or I'm not sure if they have Qantas, but British Airways, you can generally book American Airlines. For Delta flights, you can book those through Air France or Virgin. For United, you can book those through Air Canada or Avianca. So you got it sounds like you have a lot of research to do. And even with those options, you're probably not going to be able to book any flight. Availability will be a little bit limited, but you're always going to have that portal to get 1 cent per point back and erase that. And that's honestly, that's not the worst way to use your points, because you have to remember, when you use that portal for flights, you still earn miles and towards status. Let me see here. Oh, Mrs. Points and Miles says, Carlos would like to try soccer. I would like for him to play soccer. He would have fun. Soccer is really cool. I'm a big fan of World Cup soccer. Keith S says if you're staying at Hyatt, you get 5 times Hyatt points with their World of Hyatt card. If you stay enough there, it ain't that bad. Let's go over that. Anyone who is a member with Hyatt earns 5 points for staying at a Hyatt. If you use the Hyatt card, you'll earn an additional 4 points. If you use the Chase Ink Preferred, you'll earn an additional 3 points. So between those two cards, you're going to earn 8 points or 9 points per dollar. Does that justify a $95 annual fee and a new credit account? Not for me. And here's the thing. With the World of Hyatt card, you're not earning on any other purchases. You're never pulling that card out to swipe except for at a Hyatt. With a Chase Ink Cash, you can earn 5 times everything. And you can have more than one. So you could get 2 and you can have 5 times on anything up to 50 grand. Now we're talking about 250,000 Hyatt points in a year by doing just a little bit of work and not having another consumer card on your credit report. I don't think it's close. I don't think the World of Hyatt card offers anything to go out of your way for, unless you really like Category 1 hotel stays. Ron J says, would you ever go for lifetime hotel status? We're all getting older. You know what? I may try to get the Hilton Diamond status. I think you have to have it for 10 years. That's definitely something to look at here in the future. Stephen Marcucci. Sorry, man. Do you see the Amex Green gaining popularity if the other charge cards get a price increase? I think the green card will gain popularity when people start hyping it up. For whatever reason, hype drives cards. Me personally, I think the Amex Green card is a really good card in its current form. If you want clear, you're going to pay that clear. So the green gives you a clear membership, and then it gives you a bunch of great really good multipliers. It gives you Amex offers. It gives you referral opportunities. I think the green card is big time. I think it's really good for an effective, very low annual fee, if any. So I think and here's the other thing. You might not consider this, but I think the green card is one of the best looking American Express cards in the game for sure. It's just the green. It's classic. It's nice. It's cool. Cool says, if you book AA using Qantas points, do you still get the free check bag with an AA card? Here's where that kind of gets confusing. If you book an American Airlines flight with Qantas miles, you're going to include your American Airlines number on that reservation. So you're still going to have it. And when you open your American Airlines app, that's where you have your reservation on there. If you're booking domestically, you're going to get that free check bag. John says, hello, Mrs. Points and Miles. She must be just keeping an eye on me. Or Carlos was watching. Okay, Jay from the Bay. Oh, he's talking to Ron. What's the point if you can get high level? Well, Jay from the Bay, I think he's asking about the lifetime status. Is if you get a high level credit card like the Aspire and you maintain that diamond status for 10 years, you will in fact earn lifetime diamond status, making that card maybe something you could do without. Yeah, Matt Clausen says the World of Hyatt card could use a refresh. I mean, here's the thing. Even if the World of Hyatt gave an honest bonus, like these guys are getting 30,000. And here's the other crazy thing. And I hate to even make this a Hyatt video, but these guys that are getting the World of Hyatt card, they're not even spending 15 grand to hit the second tranche of the bonus and another free night. They're not even doing that. So I think it's a lot of hype. And I think it's a lot of what's cool on YouTube. Not that the Hyatt program is not great, but the cards suck. Bernardo, hi, Uncle Luke. What are your thoughts on the rumored new Chase Hyatt premium card? Would you consider I would consider getting it. Don't think I will. Here's my question about that. I think it will happen, but if it doesn't happen, I won't be surprised. And here's why. That's all we're talking about now. They give you two really crummy cards, and we're sitting around talking about them like they're like they're something. Here's the other reason why I don't think it'll be a real premium card. Hyatt does a really good job of gatekeeping that globalist status. It's very difficult to get. It's very beneficial for those that do have it. And they get to run a promotion every year to make you do things that you don't want to do just so you can have globalist light status. They're not going to give you that with a credit card. They're not going to take away that trump card that they have and that kind of influence they have over all of us to get globalist status. They use that to get you to do dummy bookings, to just book wild different things. Like when that last status challenge came out, folks were booking 10 nights at the local Hyatt house just to get 10 reservations in to get globalist for a year. Doesn't make any sense to me. Ricky's travel hacking. If you really wanted, use the Chase Inc. cash to buy gift cards to pay for your Hyatt stays and earn 5 times Hyatt and 5 times UR. I'd be careful. Make sure it's a stay you don't want canceled, though. You're right. I mean, that's a really good way. And we're talking about just 1 point better, but it's a free card. So I don't, Matt Clausen says a bunch of Chase cards could use a refresh. I think you're right. Yeah. Brad Groover, would you keep the green over the gold personally? No, I've had the green and I've canceled it. I think the gold is just a one of a kind. 4 times food. It's one of a kind, man. I don't think you guys have seen my videos about the gold card. I've tried to justify canceling it. I've tried to find something that beats it or meets it. It's tough. It's a big time card. Okay, Stark of Winterfell says I have more than 70K total limit, but City Double Cash gave me only 3,500. What's that all about? Here I wouldn't take it super personal because these banks, for the most part, run on algorithms. And I got news for you. Those algorithms are generally not wrong. There's a reason why they were risk adverse for giving you more than that. But what do I know? Fat Stacks Academy. Amex Green also makes a lot of sense because you have to get the sub before the gold and the platinum. I agree. Young boys thinking about canceling his gold. Thinking about a personal hotel card instead. I've got a bunch of videos on canceling the gold, man. I've thought about it too, and I still can't do it. Ron J says, 10 years for Diamond with Hilton. And that's, if you carry the Aspire card for 10 years, you don't really need it anymore. Like Ron J says, unfortunately, you can't just sock draw a card for 10. No, I'm not advocating that. No, but the Aspire is not really a sock drawer card. Almost anybody can get crazy value out of that. Oh, so Phil Mo, Diamond is 10 years and 1,000 nights or 2 million base points. That's a lot different. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. David Williams says he wants to visit Cincinnati and Louisville. Now, okay. What's the best time of year to visit? I don't live close to Louisville. I don't like not even a little bit close. Cincinnati, I live an hour and a half away. Best time to visit Cincinnati. I'm not really a big fan of Cincinnati, man. I wouldn't really visit it if it wasn't for the Bengals. Best time to visit Cincinnati is early football season. They have a really cool downtown where they have a bunch of outside tailgating type stuff. Even if you're not a football fan, it's probably the best time to go because it's like September, nice warm fall weather. You get a good sense of what the city's all about. I'd say weekend in September. John says the gold is the anchor in his wallet. I understand. DJ October says the business gold is his favorite. And I can understand that too. Especially the new iteration of that. I think the new version of the business gold is better The annual fee went up, but I think it's a better card. Yeah, John says make sure you listen to WKRP when you go to Cincinnati. Okay, let me get back to the. Whoops. All right, I'm messing this up. Let me get back to the community post. Frostbite Master says, what are your thoughts on the news that Capital One is acquiring Discover? Like I said earlier, that whole corporate business thing is a bit over my head. I don't really know too much about it. I don't want my Discover cards to be Capital One cards and vice versa. So I'm not super excited about it, but I don't really know how that will affect me. User, just a bunch of numbers and stuff. I have yet to find an award flight booking on any transfer partners that works for my family. You and others make it seem so easy. Any tips or tricks I'm missing, or is working within my daughter's school schedule too restrictive? Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty easy for me. I'm not sure what we're actually can't find any award flight bookings. I don't want to sound. How do I sound politely? You're gonna have to do more research on how to do it. It sounds like you're not at the level where you need to be. So I would say just watch some more videos, maybe look at some blogs or something, maybe a couple Google searches, because it really should be. You're not gonna be able to find an award flight for every single flight you want if you're not flexible. You know, award travel in the points and miles game is for flexible travelers, but it shouldn't be that hard. Random account 9212 recommended velocity for someone that is new to the game. Let me give you two answers. Let me give you the popular normal answer. I think if you're new to the game and you have a steady income and you know you're responsible with credit, meaning you're paying your credit cards off every month, depending on your income, I would probably apply for one every 3 to 6 months. I think when you do that, you can continue on the sign up bonuses for much longer. But I also tell you how I've done it. I've gotten like 35 cards in the last 3 years. So I've averaged a sign up bonus a month in the last 3 years, and I don't have any regrets. But I would take the more conservative, normal approach. Tim O. McD, do you think there will be a spring sub for the Sapphire Preferred? Yeah, I think there's a good chance of that. Will there be a bigger sub before there will be a refresh? I think so. I think that's a good bet. But I would tell you that when people say things like, I'm waiting for the sub to go up, that is not how I play the game. I go ahead and get the card. I don't wait. Retired 2019. Luke, what do you think about IHG cards? I have the IHG Business Premier, and I think it's wildly underrated card. And here's why. It's a card that earns. It's a card that gives you your fourth night on points free. It's a card that gives you a 40,000 point free night after your anniversary. And I think it just makes sense for me, economical stays, because I like to use that card in addition to purchasing IHG points for half a penny. And when like this Seafire resort I'm going to in Grand Cayman, I purchased some of those points for half a penny, and I think I got 7.5 cents per point with the redemption. I think IHG cards are underrated. They're really good. I don't know if they can compete at that higher level. I don't know if an Intercontinental is as good as a Ritz-Carlton or a Conrad, but I think at that budget level, big time. And for me, there's lots of ways to use a Holiday Inn Express stay or a Holiday Inn stay. Oh boy, Stan the Credit Frog just hit us with a 30 piece, a big league 30 piece. He said it's 5 o'clock there. He is a West Coaster. He's just now getting off work. Stan, thank you. I appreciate the 30 piece. I hope you have a nice, enjoyable weekend or evening. Sorry, I wish it was the weekend already. You got one more day, buddy. And again, thank you that's a big, big super thanks. I appreciate it. Vinay. That's a cool name, Vinay. Would you go for the Amex Blue Cash Preferred, or you would take it a bit higher and get gold instead, considering the benefits gold give? Um, when I first started my journey, I got the Blue Cash Preferred, and I probably didn't realize how much we spend at grocery stores. And I think at the time there were 5 people in my house. I had I had three. I don't know. I might have had 3 stepchildren in my house, so 5 people, and the $6,000 cap on the Blue Cash Preferred wasn't high enough. We spent way more on groceries. I ended up getting the gold card and canceling the Blue Cash Preferred. I do think that if you're under 6 grand a year, the Blue Cash Preferred makes a lot of sense, even if you're a traveler. And you probably don't care, but the Blue Cash Preferred, I think, is the best looking Amex card. Super cool. The blue Roman soldier guy, Centurion. It's badass. But yeah, I don't. Those are 2 great cards. I don't think you can. They're not. Neither one of them are bad. They're great. Ron J says if we look at transfer partners first, it might be easier to toss the gold card for the Premier Custom Cash. Okay. It might be easier to toss the gold. So you say it would be a decent idea to get rid of the gold card and use the City Premier Custom Cash Venture X Saver one. Yeah. And I don't think that's a bad idea at all, but we have to go back to we're canning a card so we can use 4 cards. And that's the problem with the gold card. It does so much. You can't replace it with less than 3 or 4 cards. And I don't mind using that many cards, but even when you do that, you still might not. You're breaking even at best as far as comparing it to the gold card. But I don't think it's a bad idea either. Yeah, thank you again, Stan. Stan says everybody hit the like button. 127 community members in here, and that is amazing to me. I appreciate you guys. I thank every single one of you. Justin Chai says, would you get the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, Ritz-Carlton, or Hilton Aspire first? Here's the deal, man. This is an unpopular opinion, but I'm not even looking at the Ritz-Carlton until it's refreshed and it's available for new applications. I'm a pessimist when it comes to, do I think I can apply for a Chase Marriott card, wait a year, and then product change to this Ritz-Carlton? I don't think that's going to happen for me. I think it'll be reintroduced, or it won't be around. I do think it'll be around since they just reissued it in a heavier metal. But even when I think about all that, I think the Brilliant is probably better because it gives you platinum status, and I think that pays every time. But I think the Hilton Aspire is better than all of them. So I have no plans for the Ritz-Carlton card, and I don't have any plans for the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant card. So I'm going with the Aspire. I have 2 of them right now. DJ October, I'm over 524 until April next year. If I upgrade my Freedom Unlimited to a CSR this April, it's 1-year anniversary. Do I have to wait a year again to downgrade so I can apply for the CS? That's it. I don't know I don't know the answer to that question. I would tell you best practice is to hold a card for a year. I wouldn't downgrade it before the year is up. But you're looking like you have a couple months to play with there. Like if you upgrade your Freedom Unlimited to a Reserve in April, then you can just wait until next April on that 1-year anniversary, downgrade it, and the next month or whatever, apply for the Sapphire. I would do it. I wouldn't want to get too close to those time frames, and I wouldn't want to put myself in a position where that short amount of time mattered. I would be patient and wait a month in between that, but that's just me. Hot and Heavy. Explain yourself with that name. Venture X or Chase Sapphire Reserve. So hard to decide. I hate to say this because they're always compared, but I think they're really different products for different people. Let me say something about the Chase Sapphire Reserve. that I heard that someone commented, and I'm sorry I can't remember your name that you commented, but if you're here, let me know because what you typed really stuck in my monkey brain. He said the Chase Sapphire Reserve is $550. You got the $300 travel credit that is too easy to use. So what it really is, it's a prepaid insurance plan. He pays $250 a year for the best travel insurances in the game, and he doesn't care about the rest of the benefits, and he doesn't lose sleep over it. That really blew my mind the way he thought of that. And I think it makes sense. If you have money and you would otherwise purchase insurance, then $250 for the whole year if you're traveling a lot, pretty good. And whoever made that comment, I appreciate it. Really stuck with me. I like the way you think. Fat Stacks Academy says, are there any cards you regret not getting while you were active duty Navy? No, I was not in the credit game when I was active duty Navy. I did get a Discover when I was in act. Now, I didn't travel either. I only traveled with the Navy. I was, a lot of other. The only traveling I did was I had a little Nissan pickup truck, and I would drive home from Norfolk whenever I could. So, and I also don't regret not having cards because I would not have been financially responsible enough to pay those off. And you do a lot of crazy stuff when you're in the military, and you don't. You live I lived a different kind of lifestyle. I lived for the day, and I'm glad I didn't have a bunch of credit cards. Brad Groover says, and with the CSR, you get lounge access that appears to be gaining ground much quicker than Capital One's. Is it? Because Capital One had theirs first. But I also think the Capital One lounges are awesome. I've not been to the Sapphire lounges yet, but I think they're both really good. JP Knowledge is in the house, guys. If you've not seen JP Knowledge's channel, go check it out. He's another guy. I say it a lot, but he's another guy that does it differently than most of us. Good, big time points and miles redemption guy, and also a Hyatt guy. But he's not one of these crazy Hyatt guys that can't see that the Hyatt card's terrible. Kyle Jansen says, yes, insurance plan, but altitude reserve is the same. I don't know if I'm going to put the altitude reserve anywhere near these big time travel cards. I don't think they're the same animal. I don't think they're for the same customer. I think it's a great card, but I don't think it's anywhere near one of these premium travel cards. That might make a lot of people mad, but it's also a cashback card, so it's a completely different animal. Glenn Ardonia, my Filipino head of security. When and where is your next trip? We're going to Grand Cayman in April for Carlos's spring break. We're going to the Seafire Resort and Spa right on 7 Mile Beach. I'm going to hang out with my thong and drink some fruity drinks and eat some shrimps. It's going to be a great time, and I'm trying not to go anywhere until then. My anniversary is in March. We did do frugal February. We didn't go anywhere except for Dallas. But I'm trying to kind of lay back in March as well to really, get it going for April. Because after that, I'll be really busy traveling. Michael W. said, maybe it was me. I wrote something similar because I had to go to the ER abroad and pay out of pocket. Go back to the States and apply for the CSR the next day. I love it when you guys share stuff like that because that kind of stuff does matter. Maybe more for you younger people. I'm not interested in getting hurt at my age, but yeah, maybe it was you. But whoever said it, it opened my mind up to the CSR. Keith S. says, aren't both the CSR and the Venture X Infinite cards? They do have similar travel protections, but I do want to say that I've not heard a lot of people brag about the Venture X coming to save the day like I have with the CSR. Might not mean anything, but okay, so Kyle says yes. And I just because the CSR makes sense for some people for $250 for an insurance plan doesn't make the VX, any less great. I have, or I'm sorry, I don't have the CSR. I do have the Venture X, and it is a great card. But here's one question though: how many of you guys are booking your travel with a Venture X? I don't know if I've ever booked travel with a Venture X because it doesn't have a good travel multiplier. Something to think about, I guess. I mean, the CSR is only 1 point better, I guess. Matt Puxa. Priority pass on the CSR includes the $28 meal credit times 2 if you're with somebody. Makes a huge difference. And yeah, you're right, it does. And it was great when the Venture X had that. And it was really disappointing when the Venture X took that away. It was really disappointing. That might have been the biggest reason why I got the card. Charles says he visited New Orleans at the beginning of this month to stay at the Roosevelt. Got a free room upgrade, and the service was amazing. That is me and my wife's favorite hotel, favorite city in the United States. I know a lot of people in my circle don't like New Orleans. They think it's dirty and nasty and sketchy. We love New Orleans. It's the most unique city I've ever been in the United States. Can't wait to go back. Speaking of New Orleans, I'm not sure who's exactly hosting it this year, but we do have the Creator Meetup Labor Day weekend in New Orleans. So everybody is invited. It's not one of those pretentious people think they're too good. It's a really informal get together where we will have somewhere to meet. But once we get there, it's kind of get in where you fit in. If you want to talk to somebody, you can. If you want to, if you have some creators that you don't like, don't worry about it. Nobody's going to push you into, being outgoing. We have all sorts of people. The coolest thing about those get-togethers are really the different kinds of folks that all share this one thing in common. Because when we met up in Las Vegas, we had a lot of different people. Really fun. So Labor Day, New Orleans. I will be there, I think. Matt Clausen still hasn't booked his flight. Cool says is the meetup in the French Quarter. I don't know. I'm not hosting it or I'm just here for the beer, as they say. I think it might have been Chad. Chad said he had a place he wanted to meet up in the French Quarter. But there's a million great places to meet up in New Orleans. So I look forward to it. Philmo was thinking about getting the Venture X business. Can't make the whole sub, but it does have a huge one-time $15,000 purchase. Okay, so yeah, honestly, now let's go back to what they said about the CSR. The Venture X business does have the restaurants. I think the Venture X business, it's a charge card. I think it's superior than the consumer card. And I'm somebody who got the consumer card without the bonus. I did a product change. So yeah, you're going to miss out on the bonus or some of it, but I still think it's worth it. Ron J., you had not heard about the New Orleans meetup? I'll be at one of the town's Hiltons. The Roosevelt we recommend. It's an older kind of it's a Waldorf Astoria property. Super cool. They have a really good rooftop pool with a lot of fun people that work there. They usually have younger people that do the towels and stuff. And I think I spent one day, might have been my birthday, but I spent one day, half a day drinking fruity drinks and doing the Michael Jordan versus LeBron James greatest of all time debate with a youngster there. And I had to get some older guys on my team, but really fun, really cool place. Yeah, Chad said Jackson Square. Jackson Square is a really cool place for me. And you have St. Louis Cathedral right next to it. And on the other side, you have the Cafe Du Monde, whatever the beignets or the cool coffee. Hot and Heavy says Daniel Braun plus Luke, legendary collab. I don't know Daniel Braun that well. I've been in situations with him, but we do have different setups and different styles, so that might be fun. Yeah, and that dude is just shot out of a rocket as far as stardom. That dude he's a big time dude. I'm really happy he's killing it. A little bit jealous, but he's prettier than me, so he can get more subscribers. Ricky said he might have to change his plans for that weekend. New Orleans could be pretty cool. New Orleans is awesome. Love New Orleans. Kent T. Luke, what's your favorite and least favorite business class flight? Man, can you have a least favorite business class flight? And I want to say I have not taken a lot of international business class flights. And it's I'm trying to think. I don't know if I could put one at worst. What did we just did? Our last one was last summer. Man, it's hard for me to remember. I think our last one was Singapore Airlines, JFK to Frankfurt, and that can't be my least favorite because they were awesome. My least favorite was probably my last one was October. I flew Air France, old business class to Paris from Washington Dulles, and I was really excited about that. And it wasn't bad, but it was my least favorite. And I've also done Qatar Q Suites. That can't be your least favorite. That's out of this world awesome. So I'm still looking for my least favorite. Qatar Q Suites probably my favorite, but if I had to pick my favorite experience, it was Singapore Airlines because I got to bring my wife and son, and it was really, really a treat to watch their customer service with my young son. Big time. Singapore Airlines, I'll always have a special place for them. Just industry leading service, big time stuff. Ron J says MJ is the GOAT. Obviously, sorry for the distraction. I'm with you, man. I'll just spend 1 second on this. This is besides the bronze medal in the Olympics, LeBron's won. This is what I'll say. I didn't watch basketball for a lot of years, and my stepson was a huge LeBron James fan. So I said, let's watch a game. I want to see this guy. And this was when he was with the Heat. The first year with the Heat. And I watched the finals with the Heat and Dallas Mavericks. And I'm not lying. I don't hate LeBron. I think LeBron's awesome. But watching that series, I said, which one of these guys is LeBron? And it didn't take long, but it took me a few minutes to figure out which of those Heat players was this greatest of all time. I challenge you to watch a Michael Jordan game and not know which one Michael Jordan is in the first 3 seconds. He was that much different than everybody else. Not taking anything away from LeBron. He's super awesome. But I don't think there's a discussion for greatest basketball player of all time between those two guys. Oh, Charles says he preferred the beignets at Roosevelt over Cafe Du Monde. Now, here's the appeal of Cafe Du Monde, though. They put chicory in their coffee. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's got a really cool history of why they use chicory in the coffee. The Dollar Man gives us a 5 spot for mentioning the GOAT LeBron. Hey, Dollar Man, I'm sure you're under 30 years old and you never actually got to watch Michael Jordan. But I will say that even now, at 39 years old, LeBron is unreal to watch play basketball. And I'm not a LeBron fan at all. I never have been. I'm not a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, but I do appreciate that I've gotten to watch him play in the league this long. Yeah, Fat Stacks Academy says that ironically, Discover was his first and only credit card when he was in the military. That's the only place that would give me a credit card, I think. And the Discover, it's a good card. Pat says ideal yet reasonable credit card that doesn't exist. So just make one up. Let's bump up that let's get a 2.5% cashback card overall. Put a cap on it and let me get more than one. Keep it simple. And I think one exists, but let's get a mainstream card that can do that. Or if one exists, let's do 2.75. And not that Bank of America invest $1 million with them stuff. John says MJ's a GOAT, but he's a Larry Bird guy. Larry Bird. I was old enough to have watched Magic and Larry, and yeah, you can't. Larry Bird is amazing, so amazing. If he didn't have a old crippled body when he was 25 years old, just think how good he would be. Glenn Ardonia is a Celtics guy. I went to my first NBA game with Glenn Ardonia. Celtics versus the Washington Bullets. if any of you are old enough to remember that the Washington basketball team was called the Bullets before people started crying because they had too many murders in DC. MJ was the guy on the floor palming the ball. Yeah, you're right. He was. He was the guy with a thumb like this long. Nobody in New Orleans can touch the beignets from Miss Loretta Pralines and Beignets. Okay, I'm going to go check that out. Yeah, start of the NBA not calling traveling. Yeah, you're probably right. Stan is a Kobe guy. May he rest in peace. Kobe would but I hate to make this a basketball thing, but I do want to say one opinion about Kobe. May he rest in peace. Kobe versus LeBron. Kobe got his butt whooped when he entered the league. Kobe didn't do all that great when he entered the league. LeBron entered the league kicking butt. I got LeBron over Kobe. Plus, LeBron didn't rape anyone that we know of. May he rest in peace. I guess I shouldn't say that on YouTube, but Crespo is not the biggest fan of New Orleans, but he loves the Bourbon House. I don't think I've been there. I might check it out. Yeah, Dollar Man says 2011 was after the zone defense was made legal. You're right. I mean, MJ only dealt with it in the zone in college. There's no way anyone can't admit, though, that Michael Jordan could have changed his game. Michael Jordan scored 50 a game right now. He might not play every game, but he would score 50 now, I think. Shout out to Kobe Bryant. Shout out to Larry Legend from Terre Haute. John's old enough to remember the Bullets. Stan mentioning the Kobe. 24, baby. Dong Kim, as a Laker fan, LeBron has amazing skills, but is following the path of Warren Buffett, not limiting himself to basketball. You're absolutely right. LeBron is a really unique person in a lot of aspects. Yeah, he's a high level person. Even though I'm not a fan of his, but he's definitely a high level dude. Pat says that makes the name Bullets even better. Definitely old enough for the Bullets. Phil's old enough. We got some old guys here. K1, unpopular opinion, Duncan over Kobe. I can't really argue with you. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to put him over, but he's in there. He's definitely in there. Pat says, have I done any historic tours in the U.S.? We do tours almost everywhere we go. We did them in New Orleans. We do them in Savannah. Historic tours and like ghost tours and just whatever we can find that looks interesting. And we've ran into a lot of really good tour guides. The Pants, as I saw Magic Johnson put the Lakers without Kareem on his. You saw that. I remember it. I was really, really young. I guess I don't really remember it, but yeah, you're right. Magic Johnson was a rookie. That was that 1979? Yeah, I was like 2 years old. John's a Spurs guy. Okay. I really want to visit San Antonio. I like the Spurs, but I really want to visit San Antonio. And Ron J says LeBron doesn't have the Mamba mentality or the killer instinct that MJ had. Now, you're right. LeBron manages the game like a Stockton. I don't know if I'd put him like a Stockton, but he's definitely different. Different style, different type of player. And that's why it's so hard to say who's better, because they are so different, I think. Philmo's going to San Antonio to watch the Knicks and the Spurs. Nice move, man. We just got back from Dallas watching the Mavericks score the most points they ever scored in the first quarter. Still Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah, Chamberlain. I never had to see him play either. Let's go back to he'll never be Stockton. You're right. Pacers game, very entertaining this year. Halliburton is I never even heard of that guy until the All-Star game. In Indiana, it's 3 hours away drive for me. So I might go see them play. Chris says, Luke, I'm having the hardest time finding good redemptions for Hilton points. It seems like cents per point is getting less and less. What's your go-to strategy for maximizing Hilton points? Well, there's two things I do to maximize Hilton points. One, I try not to stay at Hilton's unless I'm doing 5 nights. When you get that 5th night free, you bump up that cent per point. And I also do the higher end Hyatts, or I'm sorry, Hiltons. That's what he's saying, right? Hilton? Yeah, Hilton. I do the higher end Hiltons. I do the Waldorfs and the Conrads. I don't even really like staying at regular Hiltons. I just stayed at one in Dallas, and I don't really have anything great to say about it. So I think if you choose 5 nights and you look at the higher end ones, I think you have a better uh, a better chance of getting high cents per point. But like everyone says, Hilton points are so easy to earn. I don't mind burning them at a lower cents per point once in a while because I can generate those points really fast. Glenn Ardonia says let's plan a San Antonio trip. Let's plan one. Glenn, you plan it. Let's do a Saturday game when they're playing somebody we want to see. So I don't know who that is, but I'll meet you in San Antonio. Oh, Phil Mo booked a flight home through DFW just to hit the Capital One Lounge. I do the same thing. JP Knowledge, how do we use credit card points for basketball games? Capital One Entertainment, obviously. You have Capital One Entertainment, and you can use the Saver one for 3 times entertainment. Fat Stacks Academy, Uncle Luke is the Larry Bird of credit card YouTube. Man, that's a big time compliment. I'm more like I'm more like a Ron Harper. I'm more the Ron Harper of the credit card game. Or no, Bill Cartwright. If you guys remember the Bulls teams with Bill Cartwright that had Michael Jordan used to call him Medical Bill. But I'm the old guy that's just barely hanging on. Ron J has a good point. Buy Hilton points, they're on sale. If you can get them for half a cent a piece, you can almost always get that. But you can get double that if you really try. Yeah, John says Amex experiences. The Dollar Man does have a point. If you watch the 80s and 90s games from start to finish, it's a different league. The skill level was way different, but it was also a different game. So I don't know if that's a fair comparison. Yeah, but you're not lying. You're not wrong. Pat says Hilton is the best example that cost of points earned is just as relevant as cents per point. You're right, especially when you can buy them that easily. Phoenix Fats, we talked about Capital One Buy and Discover. I don't have the knowledge or the scope to even opine on that. Way out of my league. Dong Kim says if you like baseball, Capital One has great redemption for baseball games. Yeah, Dollar Man says Luca's the Luca. I'll take that. He's old enough to be my son, but yeah, I like Luca. Larry Bird faked so many guys out on the court. Different game. Defense was big. Yeah, you're right. I don't want to talk about basketball, but yeah, you're right. The artist Gilmore, best center of all time. I don't even know who that is. Artist Gilmore. Let's go back to the community page. Royce, what would you say the idea of cents per point being an overvalued metric? I have a big opinion on this. I see a lot of people skip programs and good redemptions just because the CPP isn't sexy enough. Hyatt versus Hilton is a great example of this. Hyatt may win the CPP battle, but mostly because it's harder to earn points. I agree with you. Factor in Amex transfer bonus, 5th night free. He's saying that Hiltons are comparable to Hyatts as far as points, and I agree. Hiltons are easier to rack up much quicker. There's less cent per point value, but it's easier to gain. It's easier to earn. I think that kind of evens out, especially if you're getting 1 cent per point for your Hilton points, which people don't like to hear that, but I get that a lot. As far as the cent per point metric being overvalued, here's why it's not overvalued. And here's why it does matter. And it is a big deal. If you don't want to get 5, 6, 7, 10 cents per point, totally understand. But you can't tell me that if you're getting 1.1 and 1.2 regularly, that you're killing it, because you're not. Let me give you an example. You have the Chase Sapphire Preferred. You're getting 2 points per dollar on travel. Am I right? Is that or 2 points? And you're getting 1.2 value for those 2 points. So where are we at? 2 points, 2 point. You're at 2.4. You have 2.4 cents per point on what you're earning. What about a 5% cashback travel card? Now you get 5% to 2.4. It, let's say dining. I have the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I'm getting 3 points, but I'm only getting 1.2 cents per those points. So I'm getting 3%, 3.6% cashback equivalent. And this guy's getting 5% cash back. This is what I'm saying. If you're not getting a good or at least a decent cents per point value on your transferable currencies, you're almost overwhelmingly more likely to be doing better with no annual fee cashback cards. And it's not even close. When you go no annual fee cash back and you're getting 5% on a lot of your categories, you can't go wrong there. If you're getting good 2.5, 3 cents per point on your travel points, you're probably doing better. You're doing just fine. But if you're not getting that, you might be fooling yourself into thinking you're getting good value when you're not. On top of that, you're paying an annual fee. Dollar Man says start a basketball channel. I would love to, man, but I don't have enough. I can't stay awake late enough to watch NBA games now. Some of those games come on at 10:30. I go to bed at 9. I'm going to bed here in just a few minutes. Crespo says Allen Iverson's underrated. Imagine Allen Iverson today. Man, could you compare Allen Iverson to Steph Curry today in these new rules and this new setup? Man, I think it'd be fun to watch. Luke's 3 pointers and assists. Yeah, Pat says Hilton basically throws points at you, making their cent per point redemptions not as relevant. I agree. And also, if you wanted really good Hilton redemptions and you travel a lot, just pay cash for a couple months for your hotels. Your point stack will go way up. They earn crazy on paid stays. Needed a hotel in Pittsburgh. I couldn't find anything under $500, but 50,000 Hilton points. So I bought 50,000 Hilton points for $250. Phil Mo knows what's up. Phil knows how to play it. Yeah, Pat says basically your points earn rate multiplied by your cents per point needs to be more than 5%. Exactly. It's a hard formula to convey to some people. Like 3 times restaurants at 2 cents per point would be 6%. You're beating that no annual fee cashback card. Not everybody's getting 2 cents per point. Now, I don't think, listen, I'm not saying you have to do that every time. And I'm not saying you're not doing it right if you're getting less value. But I am saying that it might make more sense to pay for that domestic economy flight than get 1.1 cents per point. If you don't have any money, then use points. I understand that. But if you're really trying to progress through this game, sometimes it's going to make sense to pay cash. Yeah, K1, 34 times on Hilton, regardless of 0.5 cents per point or 1 cent per point is crazy. 35 times on Hilton, what he means is if you use a Hilton Aspire and to pay cash for your Hilton room, you're going to gain 34 Hilton points per dollar spent. It's going to be 10 base points doubled for diamond status, and then 14 times for using the Aspire card. 34 times every dollar you spend. You're going to make a lot of Hilton points. Let's get back on this community page because I don't want to. JP Knowledge. I don't know if he's still here. How many cards were you denied for last year? I've been denied for 2 this year. No big deal to me. And how much do you care about hard pulls? JP, I was denied for the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve. I was denied for the PenFed Pathfinder card. and I was denied for the Capital One Saver one, and then approved a month later. So at least 3, and I want to say it might have been more than that. So I'll throw up the applications and get denied. I don't care. But I'm at so many new accounts. And as far as inquiries, I have over 20 inquiries. So obviously, I don't care too much about that. I am probably going to relax that a bit in 2024, but I don't put a huge amount of value on number of inquiries. I know some people do, and I think some younger folks or folks with a slimmer credit profile, it might matter a lot, but it doesn't matter that much for me. I don't get turned down for real credit. I don't get turned down for a car loan or a refinancing a house. I don't get turned down for mortgages. I don't get turned down for HELOCs. So, Glenn Ardonia got denied on the Saver one. Got to get back at it, man. Lynn's rideshare hustle is in the house. Glenn, we'll get you that Saver one. Trust me. We'll figure it out. Charles says Capital One and Chase are the only 2 places to ever deny him. They denied quite a few people. Let's see. Let's get right back to this real quick. 39. Uncle Luke, I'd like to hear a bit more about your watch game. You recently mentioned you were thinking about getting a Rolex or 2. Do you plan on keeping and wearing nice watches, or will you sell them for profit? The only thing I'll say about that is I don't believe in watches as an investment. I don't believe in flipping watches. I have a few watches. I don't know if I have a watch game. I have a couple Omegas. I have a Tudor Pelagos, which I really love. And I just got a Hamilton khaki field watch in titanium. So I've got like 4 or 5 adult watches. I do want a Rolex, and I've been hanging out at this Rolex authorized dealer for a few months. And that's a whole other story, that whole Rolex thing. But I was offered a Rolex, but it was like a $40,000 Rolex that obviously I not something I wanted. It was a ladies Rolex even. But I might get a Rolex. I kind of told my wife I'm kind of over Rolex right now because the games they play and things like that. But I don't know, if I do get a Rolex, it'll be something I hand down to my son. It'll be something that stays with me. I'm not interested in flipping it for profit. And if I ever feel like I might want to flip it, then I won't buy it in the first place. This is my main watch, and I would be happy with just this for years. I like it so much. Fat Stacks Academy says, move here to Hawaii and you'll never have to stay up late watching a sports game again. Yeah, I know. I didn't mind being in Hawaii when we were there. We were there 10 days last year. And, you're right. It's a big time difference. Ron J, all in. Do you prefer the future of the Citi or Capital One program? Citi's downsizing while Capital One seems to be making moves. I think you're right. I think Citi is stagnant at best. Capital One is at least trying. If I had to be all in on one, probably going to go to Capital One, but I think if I could only have Citi cards, I would be doing just fine. I would be doing just fine. I like their transfer partners. I like their cards. They're affordable. And I think eventually we're going to get that big time premium travel card back. I really do. Tampa travel. When are you off to Switzerland? We'll be in Switzerland in June. So pretty soon, I think. Oh, YouTube experiment. What'd he miss? We've been all over the place tonight. LeBron versus MJ versus Kobe versus Duncan. Rolex versus Omega. We've been all over the place tonight. It's been a good one. John says he'd love a Rolex. The only watch he has is a smartwatch for health tracking. Funny you say that. The reason why I got into watches was because I bought an Apple smartwatch, and it made me so angry at the distractions about it. I bought an adult watch. Yeah, Pat has a good point with the Citi Custom Cash and the Double Cash being a pretty basic cashback system. Man, you throw that Premier in there though, and you have just a solid trifecta. Solid trifecta. I think it's really good. Let's see if we got any more of these questions back here. Chris says, man, you look like a totally different dude with the beard, longer hair, and lack of glasses. Both are good vibes, though. This is the winter time when my belly gets a little more fluffy and I need some hair on my face and on top to keep me warm. Summertime, we'll probably try to lose a few pounds and shave. Or not. I don't know. So that is, we got all the questions in the first community post. I did do a reminder and I got a couple. Oh, no questions. We are done with the questions here. If you got any questions, what's do bras do? Put the questions over here. This look is a vibe, Uncle. Here's the thing, man. I'm 46 years old. So when you say some of these things, I don't know what it means. This look is a vibe, Uncle Luke. Okay, I'm thinking it's a compliment, but thank you. But I don't know exactly what that means. But I do like the grays and the white hair. I definitely earned those. Charles laughing at me. It's a good look for me, coming from a 30-year-old. Okay, cool. Okay. I like the way I look. I'm okay with it. Sendo is at the Centurion Lounge in Atlanta. Good for you, Sendo. That's awesome. I have not experienced that yet. Matter of fact, I don't have any flights going into Atlanta anytime soon, so it might be a while before I get to check that out. All right, guys, we have 133 people in the chat. Slap that like button for me if you would, please. We are going to kind of wind this one down. I want to do about 5 or 6 more minutes of questions and whatever kind of tangent we get off on. And then about 5 till I want to get ready to go to bed because I get up at 5 a.m. East Coast time. And it's something I can't help. I just keep doing it. It's something to do with wanting to eat and pay for electricity and heat and stuff. Oh, still never answered my other question. AC/DC or Metallica? That's a good question because I think it's a let me ask you this, Charles. When we're talking about AC/DC and Metallica, which Metallica are we talking about? I can't go against And Justice for All Metallica. This new Metallica, not the biggest fan. And then we're talking about AC/DC here. We're talking about like really old school classic Bon Scott rock, or I'm gonna do you one better. It's not AC/DC or Metallica. I'm going for And Justice for All over all of them. That album, I was a little kid when it came out, and that's the good stuff. The real answer is Megadeth. Yeah, I don't know. I can't argue. Older Metallica. I do like the older Metallica. What's the whatever album Sanitarium is on? That era of Metallica was different. And like And Justice for All, and after that, not so much my thing. The Pan says he got the Venture X because he couldn't see how you were wrong. Lack of transfer partners might spell its doom. What do you mean by lack of transfer partners with the Venture X? Like which ones are you looking for that you don't have? Buddy is looking forward to the Capital One lounges in Denver and DFW. David Trevino says Dad Rock. What's even worse about that is I heard on the radio that Avenged Sevenfold and Papa Roach were now Dad Rock. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm a dad, so Justice was absolute peak Metallica. I think you're right. That's Bagel Square. Favorite Conrad I've stayed at? It has to be the Conrad Fort Lauderdale. We're going back in July. Matter of fact, I think Chad from Chad's Money Minutes is going to meet me there. And if you guys know Rod from Points Blank Travel, I think he's going to try to meet us there. So we might have a crew at the Conrad. And The Conrad in Fort Lauderdale is one of those kind of classy upscale places. So it'll be really interesting seeing a bunch of old YouTube dudes smoking cigars and drinking too much. David Williams says Uncle Luke is Gen X. Well, yeah, I am Gen X. I'm exactly that. Justice Era was also their best live performance. They still hold up watching. Yeah, I don't think I ever saw Metallica live. I didn't go to a bunch of concerts when I was young. Master of Puppets was the album Sanitarium was on. That's a good one too. Yeah, those two albums, tough to put anybody in that kind of genre against that. And I'm not the biggest Metallica fan. So Glenn Ardonia wants the Scorpions. But Glenn Ardonia is also known to blast Neil Diamond's Coming to America to get fired up for a basketball game. He's also a hell of a karaoke guy. Him and Manny Pacquiao sing together sometimes. Even one, best use of 3 Hilton free night certificates. Well, I'm using 4 of them in July at the Hilton Conrad. It's not the sexiest redemption in the world. I think your best redemptions are the Conrad Bora Bora, something like that. But we go to the Conrad Fort Lauderdale enough to where I don't mind getting a lower value on those free nights, because in this scenario, I'm taking 2 of the 3 stepkids. They're adults, but we're going to have almost everybody there with us. And that's going to be a big treat for my wife. So she'll be happy, and that'll be a good one. So three free nights at the Conrad Fort Lauderdale. Cools is going to be there in August. It's nice. Definitely check out the restaurant Takatu. It's like a Korean, Japanese, American fusion type thing. Really, really good, kind of Asian-y type food. Charles is looking at trying out the new St. Regis Longboat Key Resort, opening up in Florida. Man, I don't know where that is, but it sounds really cool. Filmo saw Metallica in '89. I was born, but I was young. I was 12. I don't think my parents would have let me go to that one. Lars got progressively worse. But yeah, you're probably right. The Pan. I meant to say I could not see how I could go wrong, but on lack of transfer, lack of transfer partners. He doesn't like. They don't have Delta, United, Southwest, Hilton, Marriott. Yeah, having those partners might make them a better partner list, and they really don't have that big time hotel. But here's another way to look at that. Delta is a terrible transfer partner. You're not going to get a ton of value unless it's one of those Sky Miles deals. United, you can get with Air Canada and Avianca better deals. Southwest, I don't even talk about Southwest. And Hilton, you can purchase Hilton points for half a cent each, and you can erase that purchase with the with your Capital One miles. So essentially, you can buy 2 Hilton points for 1 Capital One mile. So that shouldn't stop you there. I think that's probably that might be what you consider a hack there. But you can buy up to hundreds of thousands of Hilton points per year. So that's not a bad idea. John's an Iron Maiden guy. Okay. Oh, the Longboat's near Sarasota. I've not been there, but I would definitely like to try that. Now, Southwest did not send me a cease and desist, and I actually have a lot of credit with Southwest and a lot of points. And they do have Southwest has good routes from where I fly out. I want to go to Orlando, Fort Lauderdale. There's a couple other direct routes they have that nobody else can give me. I will fly. They fly direct to Las Vegas, so I'll fly Southwest. I just don't like talking about them because I don't want anybody to know I fly Southwest. That's a joke. Francisco Torres, great content. Just got the Marriott Bonvoy with a 5-night offer. Any recommendations on your favorite hotels? This is the 4th question I've had on that same thing. I'm going to have to start looking at Marriott hotels. Francisco, I don't really stay at Marriott's, so I haven't looked at the prices. Somebody had a great suggestion. Man, it just maybe it's because it's so late at night. Somebody just had a great suggestion for 50,000 Marriott point nights. Was it on Grand Cayman? I don't remember, and I don't think they're here anymore. But there's some good ones. I don't remember off the top of my head. Ricky's travel hacking loves Southwest for spec. Yeah, you're right, because they're never going to expire. That's actually a really good point. That makes it worth it a lot. Have you used Choice Hotels in Tokyo? Are they okay? I've not used it yet. I plan on it. Luke S., do you ever stay at non-chain hotels? It's been a long time, but if I go through with my plan of canceling or downgrading my Hilton cards, I do plan on staying at some boutique non-chain hotels. I haven't in a long time, but I think that's a good possibility in the next 12 months. What is the best business Capital One card for travel? The Business Venture X. I mean, I think that's a great, great card. And I also think it's a card you don't need the bonus for. That's sacrilege for somebody to say in this game. But I think when you're at a certain number of cards and you've gotten 50 bonuses, I don't think it's a bad thing if you do without a bonus to get the best card you can get. Only a couple cards I would say are worth it without the bonus. The Hilton Aspire is worth it with no bonus, and the Venture X business card is worth it with no bonus, in my opinion. The Pans, are you saying the Venture X, use the Venture X to buy Hilton points and then get 2 times purchase? No. Here's what you'll well, I didn't even think of that. But what you'll do is you'll buy Hilton points at half a penny each. You'll earn 2 Capital One miles each dollar, and then you can purchase erase that purchase for 1 point per dollar. So you'll do okay in that scenario if you want Hilton points. You'll probably do better in that scenario than you would earning Hilton points at a 1-to-1 ratio. All right, guys, it is 8:57. We have 122 in the chat. I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you want any more information on any of the cards we talked about, obviously I have a link in the description below. This has been probably my favorite live. We got to talk some off-topic stuff. Thanks for coming. Thanks for all the super chats and all the good stuff like that, and all the awesome comments and questions. We're going to answer one more. Keith S., would you ever carry just one card and it's not for a sub, just using my bill card and trying to hit platinum? No, because I don't have to. Anyway, guys, thanks for the question, Keith S. We will see you guys later. Good night. Monday, I will have my best video I've ever made. 2 p.m. Eastern Monday. Be ready for it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.